First, I want you to look through this problem that we're asked to solve. Right, the first step would be to simplify. There are two like terms. The next thing I would want to do would be to subtract a 25 from both sides. And I like the horizontal way of subtracting, even though it takes a little more work, because when we get to the literal equations this week, it will help us to not make mistakes. So on this side, 25 minus 25 goes to 0. And 10 minus 25, or plus a negative 25, is a negative 15. And my last step, I want to divide by negative 5 on both sides. And negative 15 divided by negative 5 is positive 3. All right, now I've made an error in this assignment, or in this problem. But let's go ahead and try a check just to see how the check shows me whether or not I've made a mistake. So I'm going to go back to the original equation. And let's see. 3 3s and 2 3s are 5 3s. And 10 equals 10. Great, that checked. Oh, but wait a minute. This was not supposed to check because I said that this answer up here is actually wrong. So how did this check down here? Well, I made a mistake up here when I said negative 3w plus 2w is negative 5w. And by showing my work down here and going through in steps, I made the exact same mistake, that negative 3 times 3 plus 2 times 3 is negative 5 times 3. So doing this step the same way, I made the same mistake twice, and it looks like my answer is correct when in fact I made a mistake up here. So let's go in and actually fix some of these mistakes. If I have a negative 3w, this is plus a negative. So instead of having negative 5w there, I should have negative 1w. So if I'm going to make that kind of mistake with my algebra, how can I make sure I'm not making the same mistake with my arithmetic? Well, the way I would suggest is not to show these steps at all. So we'll take out the eraser and we'll get rid of all of these steps. And do your substitution on paper like this, and then go directly to the calculator. So if I put the expression in the calculator, I can see that 22 is not the same as 10. So 22 doesn't equal 10. So remember, if this is an exam question and you don't have time to figure out what it is you did wrong up here, what you want to do is show all of this work and say that my answer did not check. What that tells me is that you know the answer's wrong, which is a very powerful skill. If you had time and some people you could go talk to, you could check in with them and figure out how to do it correct. On an exam, you won't be able to do that. But that means that if there's 2 points for the check, you're going to get those 2 points because you knew your answer was wrong. Now, if you don't want to write all this, sometimes I just write DNC. For me, that means did not check. If you forget that, you can just always make a sad face because that did not check. Any one of those, or write wrong, one of those will tell me that you know that that answer didn't work. So it's not just that I want you to save time by not showing steps, it's that sometimes showing steps, if you make a mistake on the top, you'll end up making the same mistake in your check and you'll not know that your answer is wrong. In fact, you'll think your answer is correct. You'll lose points for the top part of doing it wrong, and you'll lose another 2 points for the check for not knowing that your answer was wrong.